University of Oklahoma President David Boren has ordered an investigation of each individual officer of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity at OU. That follows Boren's decision to close the fraternity house and expel 2 of its members after video of a racist rant on a fraternity bus went public and viral last weekend. As investigations spread to SAE houses on other campuses, many hope the incident will spark new efforts to improve inequality at OU. This report was produced by Pam Ortega, an ONR intern from the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Oklahoma.
There's a new job opening at the University of Oklahoma, a post that will oversee all diversity programs on campus. This comes less than a week after a videotaped racist chant by members of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity brought national attention to the university. OU President David Boren reacted quickly by condemning the actions in closing the fraternity house. Boren says he found the video startling.
My first reaction was it couldn't be here. It just couldn't be here. This community is so good. It's so positive. That was my first reaction, was disbelief.
But that is not how many minority students at the university reacted to the video. Kumba Sakar is a member of the organization Unheard, which has lobbied OU officials for more equality on campus.
Although it might not be somebody saying the N-word, stuff like this happens daily on campus, just like it would any other university.
Ariba Anwar is an education major at OU. While she says no one has ever verbally mistreated her, she has felt what it's like to not fit in.
You'll walk into a class and someone doesn't want to sit next to you, so they'll go change their seats. Or you befriend someone in your class and you talk to them in the class and you study with them outside of the class, but the minute that class is over, if that person sees you on campus, they pretend you don't exist.
Jessica Vasquez is a student at Oklahoma City University, and like many others, she says this kind of behavior is not new or exclusive to OU.
I think it's kind of sad that we had to wait for a 10-second YouTube video to come out for us to rally behind this, because this is something that's been happening for ages and we know it.
In the late 1960s, OU graduate students began a movement. They were advised by Dr. George Henderson, then only OU's 3rd black professor. Dr. Henderson says the students were tired of being a part of 2 universities, separate but allegedly equal. Black students presented a Declaration of Independence to university officials. Now, 45 years later, Professor Henderson sees the fraternity video as evidence racism will never actually be eradicated.
I tell my students that racism is not dead. It's more covert than overt, but it's still here. I'm always disappointed because I want to be proved wrong. I wasn't.
And while he doubts racism will ever be eliminated, Dr. Henderson still has hope for the future.
I firmly believe that the only race of any significance ultimately is the human race. We're either going to live together or die together, and there's nothing in between. I opt for living.
Matthew Beasley is an OU foreign language student, and he admits he grew up with stereotypical views of minorities, something that actually changed when he got to OU.
And that really turned around for me when I had, especially a black roommate that I lived with all freshman year. All of the things that I had preconceptions really didn't turn out to be true at all. And once I got to know him as a person, he's like a brother to me. He is one of my favorite people in the world.
OU student athlete Ayanna O'Neal believes every Oklahoman has a role in changing stereotypes that lead to racism.
We have to be able to hold each other accountable, and I think at OU, I'm a student athlete here, and so we're trying to push the bigger idea that we all together have to be able to hold each other accountable, whoever that is, with the little things that may happen, because it comes into play when a big thing like that happens.
For Ariba Anwar, the steps the university took against those involved in the video missed the chance to help them realize that need for accountability.
So think of it like this. If racism is a tree, President Boren just cut off a branch of it. If you want to bring change to it, the answer isn't to just get those kids kicked out. It's to help those kids, to help them realize what they did was wrong.
The expelled fraternity members have both apologized for their actions. There were several demonstrations at OU during the week urging an end to racism. The OU football team protested rather than practice all week and called for the university to investigate and discipline the fraternity's leadership.